Patrick Grey, 6th Lord Grey, known most of his life as Patrick Master of Grey, was a Scottish nobleman and politician during the reigns of James VI of Scotland and Mary, Queen of Scots. Early life. Patrick Grey, the son of Patrick, 5th Lord Grey, and of his wife Barbara, grew up as a Protestant and attended the University of Glasgow. In 1575 he married to Elizabeth Lyon, daughter of John Lyon, 8th Lord Glamis, a marriage that failed shortly afterwards. Patrick travelled to France, converted to Roman Catholicism and became a supporter of Mary, Queen of Scots. Political life. On his return to Scotland in 1583, Patrick gained notability as a political schemer and diplomat, endearing himself to the young King James whilst he plotted with James Stuart, Earl of Arran, to keep Mary in prison. In October 1584 he was appointed a gentleman of the Privy Chamber and made Master of the King's Wardrobe and Menagerie, in charge of the King's jewels, clothing and tapestry, and the employment of tailors and shoemakers. He was sent by James VI as Scottish ambassador to England in 1584 to broker with Elizabeth I over the fate of Mary. On his return to Scotland, after the execution of Mary, Patrick was declared a traitor, jailed and later banished from Scotland. James VI forgave Patrick and allowed him to return to Scotland in 1589, restoring his offices to him, although the Master of Grey continued his scheming career, implicating himself in a number of intrigues and plots. Later life. The Master of Grey married again in 1585 to Lady Mary Stuart, daughter of Robert Stuart, 1st Earl of Orkney and cousin to King James. In 1587 he was sent to England with William Keith and the Robert Melville to intercede for the life of Mary, Queen of Scots. The speeches and manner of mediation were said to have been counterproductive. In November 1598, he was travelling in Picardy, then visited the Earl of Gowrie at Orleans. Then he spoke to Esme Stuart's widow, Catherine de Balsic, at Aubigny-sur-Nere, who feared her son, Ludovic Stuart, 2nd Duke of Lennox, was plotting with Henry Keir. Grey was trying to secure Lennox's inheritance. Then he had an audience with the King of France, who was waiting for James VI to send him Scottish hunting hounds. In May 1601, the Earl of Mar and Edward Bruce, Commendator of Kinloss, returned from an embassy to London. Although they had reached an understanding on the succession of James VI to the throne of England, it was kept secret. The apparent lack of achievement was seen as an opportunity for Mar's political opponents to supplant him, and the Master of Grey attempted, without success, to gain the confidence of Robert Cecil in England. Cecil, however, did not even tell Grey of his secret correspondence with the Scottish king. In the domestic arena, Grey also was involved in a coalition of Anne of Denmark and the Duke of Lennox against Mar. Patrick became 6th Lord Grey on his father's death in 1609, 3 years before his own death in 1612. He was succeeded by his son Andrew Grey, 7th Lord Grey.